Because I'm first, right?
I'm just waiting for you to start.
I just need to get my notes on the right location because if I look there, I need to look this way. So I need to have them over here. Okay. Mm-mm-mm. Welcome to Slow and Steady, the podcast where you get to follow along as we build products in public. Each episode gives you an honest peek into our lives as we share our struggles, our wins, and everything in between. I'm Benedicta, and I'm feeling relaxed.
And I'm Benedict. Today is June 2nd. Today's episode. No, wait. Whatever. This is episode number 244, and I'm feeling motivated today. And apparently a little bit confused reading the notes, but whatever.
Whatever. So we all have much better feeling. We all both have much better feelings than last time. I was exhausted, overwhelmed, or whatever that word was. And I have had a super slow 2 weeks, just working 2 or 3 hours on Wii every day, and buying a tree and doing general yard work, and watching Lillian do her circus performance. And it's like one of those things where I could bike her down, then bike home, and then bike back again for the show, like most of the parents did. But I was just like, I'm just gonna chill out on the couch outside this like venue and just hang out. Like, why not? Like, why stress? And I had my
That's good.
laptop and I was like, okay, maybe I should work. But I just watched some YouTube and like talk to the people who were hanging out and was like, this is much nicer than trying to
Than
maximize
actually working.
than actually working or like maximizing like getting that hour to do errands or whatever in between. So I've been all about trying to like calm and relaxed and slow and steady. And
Very
it's
good. Very
working.
good.
Yeah. It's very weird, but it's very nice.
What makes it weird, though?
I'm just used to chaos. Like,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
So, what else has been going on other than you being super relaxed and slow and chill and whatnot?
And whatnot. I have also done my third investment, fourth, third,
Ooh.
um, in a Norwegian company called Alfred that has a team that includes Alexandra Weiss that you know.
Maybe I don't know. What's her name again? Alexandra Weiss or Lice?
It's like, well, see, I only write her first name down. This is the problem with Norwegians.
But I guess it
We're
sounds
not.
close enough. That's probably the same person. Well,
How many opera singers from Germany? Elias, yes, yes.
Lice. Okay, it's the
How
same person
many
after all.
German opera singers have moved to Norway and become technologists?
I don't know. I mean, we don't. I'm not sure we know each other personally. I think we both were participating in Rails Girls Summer of Code a couple years back as supervisors, and I remember, like, when I googled for Alfred and Alexandra, I was like, oh, I know that face. And after looking through my email inbox, it was like, ah, yes, made a connection there. So yeah, cool.
So that's fun.
What made you invest?
She made me invest.
Oh, okay. Did she
And
talk you into it?
no, we just had a coffee. I kind of connected with her to have a coffee, and then she talked about being in the startup, and they were gonna do a funding round, and I was like, I want to join if I can do like a tiny investment. And then she, yeah, she got me in the door, and like I think I'm one of the ones who were allowed to do like a very small check in this round. Um, and I mean, I read the deck. It looks good, but I mean, don't they all? So you kind of have
I
to
guess, yeah.
believe a little bit in the team and in also the the premise. It's like sales enabled, AI enabled sales in the way, but they're doing it a little bit differently
Mhm.
than other companies, and they already have customers, which I like. It's
Yep, that's a
not
good sign.
something, yeah, it's not like, okay, in 2 years after having a freemium models, we might have some paying customers
Right. Right.
situation. But they also, need funding for expansion and growth and all of those things. But
Tokens.
at this point in my investment career, it's all about gut feelings and good vibes. And if I ever start cutting larger checks, I will do some more due diligence.
Yeah, makes sense. But I guess it's a good way to get your feet wet, I guess.
Yeah. And also keeps tabs a little bit on what's happening. I get also, because if we go to meetups or just hang around the tech scene in Oslo, I am feeling I'll get more info when word comes out that I do a little bit of investment. And I also got to be a part of that CTO roundtable group that does a fund every 2 years, I think. So there's going to be like in a year's time, they're going to do a fund and where they invest in like 10 different companies, I believe, with like the group's collected money. So I kind of went like, this is the future. I don't know if you told, but I had a vision that I in the future will be an investor. Don't know how to gonna make that happen. Well, I already am, but like my future vision in like my 50s, all I want to do is just like connect people and have coffee chats and give like strategic advice and sit on boards and like I want that. I was talking to Ula and he's like, why would you want, all of those
Why?
activities are awful. I'm like, no, I like all of these activities are perfect for me.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I can see that though.
So he will sit at home and maintain whatever we have coding wise, and I'm gonna just like run around and be the social butterfly.
Writing checks.
Writing checks.
I'll keep that in mind for the future.
So this is my future vision. We'll see how we can get there, but it's also always nice to have some kind of goal for what your, next decade is gonna be like.
Yep, that makes sense. Yeah, cool.
What you been doing?
It feels a little bit like it has been a slow 2 weeks. I think in the first week we have this one feature that we wanted to launch, a like tiny feature on the mini launch series where you can update properties in the UI. And I think I spent way too much time on polishing that feature, or actually trying to polish that feature. Because admittedly, in the end, I gave up, and we're launching it. I think maybe later today, but in a bare bones version, because some of the tough problems I was not able to figure out, even with AI help. Well, actually, that's not quite true. I had a version that was working, but the code was so horrible that I was like, no, this is not like this. I cannot ship this to production. This is not.
I cannot trust this code.
Exactly. Like this will haunt me if I do this. So, like, yeah. Anyways, we shipped it. You can now update individual properties on user profiles and on company profiles and add new ones and stuff like that, as long as they're not deeply nested in other data structures, and only if they are like simple types. So you cannot edit arrays in the UI, you cannot edit nested objects in the UI. But we figured like for I want to say like 80% of the use cases where you just have to fix a typo in an email address or just a name or something like that, it's probably fine, and we can figure out the other stuff eventually. So
I also feel like if you have deeply nested arrays, it's coming from a system that should be the truth, like the source of truth.
Hopefully,
so you might not, so you might not want anybody to update it in the UI.
Exactly, yeah. But anyways, like you listener, you're probably like, this sounds like a simple problem to solve. Because I was like that 2 weeks ago, and turns out it's not that trivial. Because like one of the requirements we had was like we want to do like partial updates and not like one way to do this is of course like get the entire object and like update one field and then persist the entire thing to the server. But it also means that if data changed on the server in the meantime, you basically reset it to whatever the state was when you last loaded it from the UI, right? And we didn't want to do that. So one of the requirements was to do partial updates. And then suddenly, especially when arrays get involved, it becomes unclear what actually gets updated when you send that data in. So yeah, that's where this one limitation of like no updates in arrays comes from, and a couple of other things. But yeah, spend a lot of time on it, way too much for what it's doing. But I guess eventually I made the escape and like stopped spending more time on it, which is like shipping that version that's not perfect, but it's doing the job for most use cases. So that's one thing I've been doing. On a more interesting side of things, we had a conversation with a lead last week, and they wanted our security questionnaire and SOC 2 and whatnot. Not that we have SOC 2 at this point, but like they had lots of questions about stuff, multiple things. One thing including security stuff. And they came back and complained that we don't offer single sign-on, which I guess fair enough. And they said like, but what makes this worse, we also not enforcing minimum password requirements. And the combination, they were like, yeah, the combination is bad because that means that we cannot trust our employees to create secure passwords on your system. And I was like, yeah, fair enough. Like so far, we haven't been strict about what password you choose. Like you had to set a password, but we didn't really care because ultimately it's your account. Like if you set an unsafe password, your fault, I guess. But that one customer, like that one lead was adamant about like, this is not good. So it's like, okay, well, maybe you should be doing something about this. So we implemented password requirements on the server side that are actually enforced now. And we're using a library that is called CXCVBN. I don't know. It's the weirdest library name ever. But essentially what it does, you give it a password and then it ranks it on a score, like from 0 to 4, I think, with like 4 being the best and 0 being the worst. And you can also do, you can like, it basically looks at the password and then checks it like for stuff like length and how much variety there is, how much special characters there are. And it also checks it against dictionaries. So if it's like a common word or like a common password, it gets a low score. If it's just ABC, ABC, ABC a million times, that also doesn't count as a secure password and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. So we're now enforcing at least a score of 3 and up, which hopefully makes things more secure. And we're also enforcing a minimum password length of 12 to 72 characters. Why 72 characters? Apparently there's a thing in bcrypt where longer passwords get truncated anyways. So yeah.
Did you write about this on LinkedIn or did I see this in another like?
You probably saw this elsewhere. I did not write about this on LinkedIn.
Okay, yeah. Because I saw, I think, well, maybe it was Mastering Laravel. They have like this tip where you get emails with tips. Maybe it wasn't that because it was the exact same. It was like something 72. I read it somewhere, and if you didn't write it on LinkedIn, then it must have come from somewhere else.
Yeah, it's apparently a limitation in the bcrypt library, and I'm not exactly sure what the issue was there. I think, I don't know. There was a security concern for why it shouldn't be longer than 72 characters, which hopefully, 72 characters is a long password. So hopefully no one will run into that. But yeah, so wrote that out, feeling good about it ourselves. Unfortunately, Still wasn't enough to convince the lead to sign up with Userlist, but yeah, I still take it as a win because I think this was legitimately the first time someone specifically stated lack of SOC 2 certification as the one reason why they're not signing up. Which
moving up into the big leagues.
Exactly, right? Like previously it was a missing feature or something something
Yeah.
not being good enough, and now it's like missing paperwork. I feel like we're getting
Oh,
there.
I keep getting ads from who what's their name, Vanta or something that is supposed to help you with SOC 2. So so Vanta, if you're if you're surveying keywords on podcasts, we'll take a little bit
We
of
take a
ad
free
space. A free
not
Vanta SOC 2 compliance audit.
we take a free compliance audit if you want to gift us one.
Sponsor the show.
So,
that would be awesome if you could get that.
Oh yeah, that would actually be awesome.
But they have
I think this
ads.
is something. Do they? I have not actively seen one of those, but they're definitely one of the services that offer this and apparently are pretty decent with this. So I think eventually we're going to do this, but we did the math again, and it is expensive. Like I feel like something between 10 to 15K a year in just like getting this once and then maintaining it. And right, as I said, like this was the first time someone stated this as a problem, and from what they shared of like how many users they're going to add and how much that will cost them to pay, it's a no relation whatsoever. So for now, I think we're going to skip on it, but sometime down the road, I think we have to bite the bullet and actually do this. But anyways, was a big step forward, I guess, in our sales objections list. So quite kind of bummed, but also happy about making progress. Yeah, other than that, security related as well. We are now stripping URLs from names during sign up. So one thing that apparently happened is that someone was poking at our sign up flow, and they figured out that if they inject a malicious link into the name, we would email them with, hey, I don't know, buy Viagra online, something like that.com. Which honestly is a thing that I knew about, but decided to ignore because I think it's a weird way to spam people. But after like getting one of those ChatGPT generated security audit reports, I was like, yeah, I don't think this is the biggest issue on the world. It's not impacting that many things, but yes, sure, okay. In theory, you could send someone an email with a fabricated link in an email that looks completely weird and it's probably going to trigger all the spam filters. But how about we just fix this, right? Like, I was like motivated for an hour and try to do this, and also one of those things that are surprisingly hard to do, like I mean, sure, stripping HTML, that's kind of the obvious thing, and sure, you can easily do that. But like then detecting links inside a name field gets tricky, especially if you think about all the ways that people could like mangle stuff or like encode stuff that would still result in a clickable link in an email, but not get detected by a regular expression or something like that. I spent again way too much time on this. In the end, I think we shipped a version that is good enough. Probably doesn't capture all the cases, but then again, who knows, right? Like, I mean, eventually you just have to be fine with it, I guess. But yeah, what surprised me the most about this is there's very little public content about this, and basically no implementations that do this for you, where you like just like send a string in and get a clean return. And I'm wondering why. Like this seems like a problem that every single application out there should have, but apparently either everyone's doing it secretly and not telling anyone about it, or they're also all not doing it. I don't know.
I think there's a couple of those in the industry where like nobody has fixed it, or like, you know, everybody is taking that risk or calculated risk, or even just like you have, like, you know, you knew it was possible, but you just like, okay, I'm not gonna fix that thing. And then we're not gonna talk about it loudly that we don't know how to
Right.
fix this, or that we're not fixing this. You know, working at Outseta, like we saw so many creative ways of trying to use our system for spam. And that was mostly our transactional emails, because you could change the layout to like get, you know, the surrounding layout to get the data that you wanted in there, and obviously also a link to your website, right? So even if we had turned off broadcasting emails, you know, they could go in and change other things, and then we put measures into place that would, like, where you're not allowed to change that within, or if you change it within the like the first so and so many minutes, or what. Yeah, we had like, there's, you know, Bernard has put in place like a multitude of things that will stop all email sending from your account. And it's just like, and you look at it and you're like, why do they want to do this? Like you say, like, you're sending off the weirdest looking emails with the most sketchiest links, because they weren't like doing like a good job with these,
Right.
you know, like these changes. And it was to these like scammiest links. And I'm just, we were like, what is the play? What is the play? Like, because like, and who are you sending these emails to? And but it was it you know, it happened. And just like very creative ways of getting to send emails with links. It just like so many different ways. And you have to, but you want to be open, you want to let the, you know, the real users actually do what they're supposed to do. But I think also folks have become more used to being like, things are not turned on, or, you know, they're not like, they can understand the security implications, like when they get a, you know, email sending turned off for your account because of so and so, you know, chat with us to get it back on. And you can do some like quality assurance on like, who are they, what's their Stripe account, what's their you know, all of those kinds of things. But, and I know people who don't let people sign up, like you have to chat with them before you're allowed to send emails, because there's just so many.
Yeah.
Well, that was a longer rant, but I think as an industry, we're just like a little bit quiet about it, because we don't
maybe
we don't want to attract anyone to test our systems in that way.
Right. Yeah. But like then like I had this like weird issues, not weird issues, but like problems like, okay, like what if we need to sanitize the company, like the account name, right? Like we don't want someone to sign up, create a new account, and have like a weird link into account name. Because that would like maybe be referenced in an onboarding email or something like that, and then would inject a clickable link in there. But then what about all those companies that have a like that use their TLD, like their domain name as the company name? Are we then stripping those as well? Like, is that like not a valid name? Because your company might be called whatever.com. And but then on the other side, you don't want, like, because email clients will see example.com and make it clickable, even though it's not a actual link. So, I don't like I'm that was stuff I was dealing with, and it's just like I don't know. I did not find a good solution. So, dear listener, if you know anything, please send it over, because I decided to just like filter everything that looks like a HTTP whatever link, but other stuff, no idea how to filter out without too many false positives.
But after they become a customer, because you have a credit card up front, right?
Yes, we have credit card up front, but like the thing is, this is even a problem before they actually set up their account, because as soon as you create a user account, we add the user to our newsletter. And then whenever we send a newsletter, we are like, hello, user.firstname, right? And if the link is in the first name, yeah, that problem is already.
And then they put in somebody, and then they put in somebody else's email address to be able to spam them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's basically the play. Random email address that they want to spam, the link in the name field, and then send that. Again, like it makes for the most weird emails, and I think no sane person would click on any of those links. But I guess it's a scale.
I'm more interested. Like you were asking, does somebody have the solution? I'm asking, do you know what the play is? I am so interested in what this like.
My theory on all of this is like, if you send them like it's large numbers, right? Like if you send 1 million emails, one will click on something.
And but you're not going to be able to sign up 1 million times at Userlist. I'm pretty sure you have guards against that.
Yeah, we have guards against that. And again, looking at the database, I checked all the records. It has not happened organically. It was just this one ChatGPT driven security researcher who did this.
Yeah.
And yeah, I ignored them because literally all the links of like to documentation about the issue were wrong because they were talking about SQL injection, different problem. And they all had like the referrer ChatGPT in there. It was like, come on, really?
Like, you're like, I'm not gonna pay you for ChatGPT asking ChatGPT a question. I can do that myself.
Like what? Like why? Like why not even? I don't know.
But
anyways,
on my side, I found out that having my 2 sites, because I'm doing the Strangler fig pattern that we talked about a couple of weeks back, where we have an old Next application that is a Frankenstein monster. And then we have started on a new Laravel implementation. But I don't want to be in a situation where we never get done with Laravel and we never get to cut over. Right. So I wanted to cut over like a feature at a time or a page at a time. But I was like, oh, I don't think I can do that with the logged in pages, because how am I going to log in across the both sides? And while we were talking about it, I was like, okay, maybe this isn't so hard. So I clauded it a little, and Jean-Claude was like, yeah, this is not very hard, because the auth implementation also in the Next app wasn't like very complicated. So he wrote it for me. I did check it, but we now have. Both sides are being served on we.no, so the cookie just has to, work for we.no. But on the back end, the Laravel site is like on beta.we.no, like that's its public address. But I don't think that was an issue. But anyway, it works.
Very good. Very good.
There is a cookie. The cookie will also work on subdomains in case we want to log in on the beta version to see all of the beta pages before we move over. And it's working pretty seamlessly. So we have moved over the payment page so that when you're logged in and you want to see your payments, you get a new, better payment page. And then also the authentication pages have been moved over. And now we're starting to move over some of the public pages even. And then we're just going to do, whatever we're working on, we'll just cut it over one by one. And hopefully by the end of the year or by the end of the summer, there is no more Next Frankenstein monster. And today, I think I got the email from Supabase where they're like, because they were using Supabase for authentication on the Next application. I got the Supabase, your free Supabase instance is being shut down because of inactivity or being put to rest.
Nice.
I don't know
Yeah.
what,
Yep.
not put to
Yep. Yep.
rest, like, yeah. And I was like, yes, that's exactly what we want. Even though we weren't paying for Supabase, it's just that there's so many services in this
One less
application. It's just like
dependency
one
to
one less dependency, because suddenly they, Supabase might be like, oh, we want to get paid for, that amount of
or even
users, or
worse, we changed all of our APIs that you're using. You now have to redo everything.
exactly. And we have a next application that we can't really update at this point.
Mhm.
So and that's also why we're looking at public pages, is because the public pages are connected to a Sanity instance that we can't update because it's on the old Sanity. So I can't do any changes to the schema or the setup of our Sanity before moving over to a new Sanity. But that's a new React version, and it's a blah blah blah, and then there's another, and there's a SDK, and I was just like, yeah, let's not, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Skip, please. Skip.
Skip. So there I don't want to untangle this. So it's moving along pretty good, I think. So anything new we make in the new, and then we just start chipping away at the old stuff, and just like working on new things, or like having to look through before switching over. Like I'm learning more and more edge cases, and like poking at different spots, and it's really nice not to have to do it all in one go. We can do like one API endpoint and like have control and be able to switch back even if needed, because these are just redirects. So if it ends up being that we do something wrong, we can just redirect it back to the next application. But I'm finding a lot of fun stuff. So I'm learning more and more. And sometimes it's a case of, is this wrong? Like, this can't be right, but it's been working. But this just doesn't seem to do what it was supposed to do, or just
Right.
like dead ends. So I'm also trying to delete everything I find that I'm like, but this isn't in use, because Claude will be super happy, like, oh, I've changed it in this component. And I'm like, but this component seems weird. Like, I haven't seen this being in use in Sanity. Like, I can't find it. Because Claude can't look into Sanity at the newer Sanities. You have an MCP server, but since we have the old Sanity, I don't think it can actually look into what is actually generating our pages. So it's like being very friendly and updating CMS components. And I'm like, but I can't find this CMS component in the CMS. So I think maybe like, let's just delete it so we don't think that it's in use. So I deleted a bunch of code, which is always nice.
Nice. Yeah.
Without
no
any
code is better than no code.
Yeah. I've deleted a lot of code and nobody's complained. Like, nothing has stopped working as far as I know.
That's good. Yeah, let's hope it stays that way, and it's not because no one uses it.
Some of it was because nobody uses it, but also if nobody uses it, why am I maintaining
you might
it?
as well delete it. Yep.
Yeah, and like start over on that part. But it feels good to just like, do a little bit every day and just have some progress and not stress about. We don't have any hard deadlines on this, so it would be nice if things were done by the end of the summer. But yeah, it's nice to just be able to take it one day at a time or a week at a time.
Right. Yeah. Just make sure to not drag it out too long, right? Like, I feel like this is stuff that if you take too long and eventually lose motivation, or like, and at some point it just sits there, and like then you have like this weird strangler fig thingy that's like,
and then I have a Frankenstein monster with an extra head.
Exactly, something like that. So like, chew away at it and make sure you eat the entire extra head.
Yes. Or eat the whole monster.
Or eat the whole monster. Yeah. Yep, for sure.
Yeah, I think we're gonna get there. It's moving along pretty nicely, and then also by mid-June, it's very slow season, so we can start messing with the harder parts, or like the ordering flow and things like that, without messing up too many, or potentially messing up too many orders, because people
Right.
don't usually want to get a subscription while they're on vacation. And
Makes sense. Yeah.
Norway's slow down from mid-June to mid-August. Yeah.
Cool. Anything
Good.
else?
I have a new phone,
Ooh.
which
Wait,
it's really
did we talk about the new phone last week? I don't not last week, 2 weeks ago. I don't know. Whatever. Go ahead.
I don't think so, because it's pretty new. Maybe I had it a week. Maybe I've had it a little bit longer. Maybe we did.
I feel like you showed me the phone, but I could be wrong.
Okay, I might have talked about it, but it's been life-changing.
Life-changing. Okay.
It's not life-changing.
It actually has a screen that is in color.
Yes. It's been a little bit of a life improvement, I would say, just because it works, and whenever I call people, they can hear what I say. And I got the new AirPods, which means I can walk and talk to people, which I'd never been able to do with my old phone. My old phone was 8 years old, so I held out a long time. And then I got I'm now a tech bro. I got one of the rings that will measure, your pulse and your temperature, and keep a little bit of a status on
how's
my
that
health.
going? Because I keep seeing them and sort of keep looking at them, but never actually sure if that's like something I want to do or not. What's your verdict after I don't know how many days?
I've had the ring for like 24 hours. So
Okay.
let's take that update
to
in
next
2
week,
weeks.
next episode. Yeah, okay.
So I have one night of data, because the Aura ring is a lot of it is based around sleep, but then it's also heart rate throughout the day. So the only thing I've learned so far is that I'm not in such a bad shape as I thought.
That's good.
Yes.
Yeah.
My heart rate variation is pretty good, and my heart rate is all in the normal range, and my so I'm not as well. It would have been fun having this the last 4 weeks, just as a comparison.
Right.
I am pretty calm, but it's like, at least it's not staying with me that things have been hard,
right,
or stressful.
Yeah, looking forward to what you say about it, because like the one thing that I think is nice about getting like a smartwatch, like an Apple Watch or something like that, is that stuff, like being able to measure heart condition and I don't know, stuff like that. Because everything else I couldn't care less. I don't want my wrist to buzz whenever I get a message. I don't want to check my email while on a tiny screen while doing something else. I think the only interesting part is the measuring stuff, and the ring feels like a good way to do this without also having something on your wrist, because I haven't worn a watch in 30 years or something like that. Just the thought of putting something on my wrists is not exciting.
I actually have an analog watch, but similar reasons though. I had a friend who said, like, I turn off all notifications, so it's kind of just it just monitors my health, and then it has the watch. And I'm like, it's pricey. It costs a lot of money, and if I'm not going to use any of those features, which I don't want to, then why spend all that money? And also the ring I found on the Norwegian like Craigslist. So it was less than half price. So some guy who's like, it tells me I'm stressed all the time. I don't want it anymore.
It stresses me out that it's telling me that I'm stressed all the time.
And like the photo was him wearing it on his middle finger. So I took it off his hands, and we'll see
Literally.
how I feel in 2 weeks. Literally took it off his hands, and we'll see if I feel the same way in 2 weeks.
Okay. Looking forward to it.
I guess that's it.
Well, yeah, I guess. Perfect segue into like the next episode. See you in 2 weeks.
See you in 2
Bye.
weeks. Or see you around the interwebs. Bye bye.
Oh, yeah, or that. Bye.